Hello, everyone. Looks like there's just a couple of us. Everybody must be busy or hungover from Final Four, our last basketball game of the NCAA, or from Easter. I know I'm a little tired, but I've been busy. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing? There's only two people on here tonight, and myself, three of us. And Russell's here. Okay, Russell and Kim so far. I posted it, but not many people here tonight. I wouldn't mind it being a short night, tell you the truth. I'm remodeling. I think I mentioned this a while ago, but I'm remodeling the whole first floor of my house. Well, I got a ranch house, but the kitchen and all the flooring within the first floor, except for the three bedrooms, they're already wood floors. So we're updating the kitchen. I'm going part of it. I just got a stupid pop up. Part of it, I'm keeping the cabinets, but I'm painting them, putting a new quartz countertop on it, and replacing one wall of cabinets. Layout I wanted to change a little bit. They're going to be almost identical to the existing cabinets I got. So that's kind of cool. And that happens on the 20th. So I got two closets, a big closet and then a little closet. I got to empty out. Got the big closet empty out, but not the little one. Then I got to empty everything out of the kitchen. I got to get the couches, the TV, all that moved out by the 20th. So I started that process today. No, Kimberly, I hired a friend of mine. Actually, um, a company. His wife is one of my mentees that I became. She became a beekeeper about I don't know 4 years, 3 years, 3 years ago. Hey, Rick, keep stacking. Uh, um, and I coached their son, Steven, um, in sports. I think it was baseball at the church church leagues. So they're going to be doing it. I'm going to be doing some of it, but they're going to be doing most of it. I'm pretty busy beekeeping in my new company that will be getting um, yes, it is, Rick. My website should be getting posted next week. We're doing some practice shipping. That's getting set up right now. And I got to set up my business bank account. I need to do that. And we're trying to figure out how that gets done. So those are about the two biggest things left on the website. Yeah, so that's all going pretty good. So website work. In fact, I should have worked on it today, but I didn't. Um, bees are being really busy. I'm getting a lot of nuke sales this year request. So I'm going to have to maybe change my plans and be more of a nuke producer versus a honey producer. I don't know. I'm trying not to touch my 14 to 16 honey hives. Right now, I got 14 honey hives. Two of them don't have bees in it. So I'm hoping to catch two really big swarms in the next week to 2 weeks because usually those first few ones are the big ones. And I'm going to replace the queen with one of my new grafted queens or one of the cell cutouts. Kimberly, I've had supers on for the last 3 weeks, either one or two boxes. In fact, oh, the picture behind me is not 100% up to date because this hive this hive right there is the one I grafted from, and now that's a demery. So that one's all the queens down the bottom box, and got the demery process going on those four hives. I decided on the other nine hives, on the other 10 hives, on the other um, apiary yard. I'm not going to do that with them. It's just too much work driving back and forth. Yeah, Thursday's supposed to be real good. Actually, after this tomorrow morning, I'm supposed to have my area is supposed to be pretty good weather. Um, upper 60s tomorrow, but our low tomorrow morning is supposed to be 32 degrees, right around freezing. And there's a real good chance that'll be our last frost of the year, because the next 2 week forecast gets me all the way to the 21st of April, and it's all warm. And I looked at the long term for forecast, and there's 139, I think, on the 21st, on the 14 days from now, and then it gets warm again. So yeah, I'm 32 here. The forecast is supposed to be low. So I got a red maple tree, one of those, um, not Crimson Queen, it's a red dragon. And I got it covered up tonight. Hey, James, hope everything's good. I got 8 more supers to put on the other yard. I'll probably be doing that. They got one or two supers on them right now. I'll be doing that on the 8th because I'm going over that yard and I'm pulling a nuke out of nine out of those 10 um, hives. And they're all eight of those nukes are sold. So I'm going to keep one for myself. And then I'm going for those two hives, I don't have any bees. And hey, Mike, um, so one nuke's going to go into that for a split, and then I'm going to make another split between those hot 10 hives to make 12 hives. And the strongest ones that I don't want to take in, the lowest I want to take brood out of a hive is five frames of brood, or maybe 4.5 frames of brood. So I'm hoping they all have 6, 7, 8 frames of brood by the 8th, and I think most of them will. So I'll be taking. I'm doing my I'm doing my nuke splits a week, about 9 days early before pickup of the bees. So I'm going to just take 2 frames of brood. Then I'm going to put a comb frame in, and then a pollen frame and a honey frame. And by the time they pick them up, she'll have that third um, frame all filled out. And that'll be the 3 frames of brood. And then I'm hoping I can take one more frame out of six of those hives and make 3 frame splits. And then my virgin queens will be hatching out on the 15th of this month that I grafted from. Um, and those will be, I'm going to go in on the 14th, cut out any cells, because those are all in my other property, those are all daughters of either my VHS queen or my Amish queen. And so they're all good cells. So I'm going to cut some cells too, if there's any swarm cells on those hives, because I have not checked them yet for swarms. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. It posted hi. So yeah, that's what's going on. So in my past years, the most I've ever gotten on my first graft was 19 cells. And I think I did 25 and I got 19. Um, this past time, my cell builder was decent, but it should have been, I should have had more bees in it. But this time of year, the hives aren't huge yet. So I didn't want to hurt any of my other hives by taking too many bees. So I grafted 30 cells, hoping I would get 20 cells. And I ended up getting either 17 or 18 cells. The day when I checked, the fourth day after my graft, which would be day seven, 7+ of the egg, or the one that was laid as an egg, um, it was 59, 60 degrees, but it was 30 to 35 mile per hour winds, ADC. So I didn't want to expose them out in that wind very long. So I pulled them out. I did a real quick count and I came up with 17, but I think I have 18. I think I missed it. I didn't move any bees off any of the cells except for one little time. So I think I got 18 cells. And from the cell builder, was an Amish um, queen from last year that I grafted, I cut 9 cells from it. So that probably some of those I didn't do perfect on. So I probably have probably around 25 queens coming in the next between tomorrow and the 15th. So I need at least 10 because I'm going to be making, I need at least 11 because I'll be taking nine nukes. So I need to replace those nine, and then I'll be making um, two splits. So I need 11. I need 11. Well, the 10th hive, I'm just going to make, yeah. So I'll need 10 plus one. I'll need 11 queens for that. So I should have a dozen queens left over. And I'm going to make actually in my property, on my place, I'm going to make 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I could make 12 splits, but I only got two hives to take splits from. So I'm going to probably just make 6 splits out of two hives. So that'll be get me up to about 17 queens I need. So any of these ones that I did emergency sell, hopefully I'll get 5 or 6. I got 5 where I got just frames, where I can dump bees in them and not put brood frame in. So I'm going to do my 17 um, new virgin queens, and I'll do 5 extra just in case the ones that don't get mated right now. And I might do a few more because I need at least 4 more after that. So I need like 21 queens. Right now I got 17 or 18. All right, DC, I'm trying to keep up with you. Okay, $10. Yeah, well, just buy a small can of dark blue and mix it in with it to darken it up. One of those quart size bottles. Yeah, make gray. Hey, Dennis, hope everything's good. So I got 17 or 18 sales. This not talked much about, but when you do your first, this is the earliest I can graft in the season. And the bees are just now getting into swarm season, making swarm cells in the area. And it's hard to get them to get more than 20 cells on that first graft. So it's typically every year it's, hey, Pennsylvania, 15 to 20 cells. So I'm right in the ballpark of 17 to 18 cells. It's just the nature of the beast. Now, if I grafted tomorrow when it gets up to 69 degrees and put 30 cells in there in that same cell builder, if I packed it out, maybe shook two or three more frames of bees in it, then graft it in the next couple days. I'd probably get 30 cells out of it, just because it's a week later. And if I waited another week, I definitely would get 30 cells out of it. So I might do that. I'm going to wait. I'm letting this be the cell builder, cell finisher also. So I'll be taking those cells out on Sunday. It's supposed to be 80 degrees, 79, 80. So Sunday, after church services, I'll be pulling those cells out and putting them in the incubator. And like I said, I'm going to pull them on Sunday. It should be day 13, and they should come out on the 15th, emerge out. Then I'll mark them white this year, and I'll have already those nuke pulled on the 8th, so and be haplessly queenless, and putting, like I said, 7 O's into them, and I'm gonna make splits. So I'll be using all those queens up on these Desiree Demarest hive. I'm doing a little bit different. They say wait 7 days. I'm waiting actually 8 days. So most of the cells are capped. If not, it's the best cell because they took an egg or so. Um, those are all VHS emergency queens. So I'm cutting those cells out and putting them in the incubator. So I'm not going to do a second graft. I'll be just getting. I have to be really careful though when it's day 9. Um, you can't shake them at all, or they're dislodged, and then you got a dead queen. So you have to be really smooth cutting them out and smooth putting them in the incubator. No jerky movements. Don't drop them like I dropped two of them the last time I did cutouts. Cut out those cells. So I know two of those cells are probably dead cells because I dropped them. I had gloves on. It's hard to do cutting out cells when you got gloves on. So took them off after that, saying I'm done with that. That's good, DC, and making two supers. So everything's been really good, progressing pretty good. Been pretty busy. And if this is our last freeze tomorrow morning on the 8th, and we don't get any more, we'll rock this year with honey. Might be one of the best years ever. Um, if that holds true, because we can get a freeze all the way up to Mother's Day in like May 10th or 12th, whatever that day is. Yeah, at one time, DC, I did three, I got 12 of those 6 by 6 frame deeps. And what I did was have queen in each one of them. And they were double 6 frames, 12 frames. Hey, Brian. And I put three of them together, put a queen excluder on them. 10 frame fits perfect on them. And then the rest of them were all super. So I had three queens, each with 12 frames to yeah, like they did in Canada. I did that for a few years. But I decided to make those into mating nukes. So that way I can take a nuke out of it and still have 6 to 8 frames of bees and put a virgin in there, and then a month later sell another nuke, and then put another queen in there to overwinter in. So that's what I've been doing with them instead. I think doing the brood management practice I do with the two broods a frame, one comb frame, two broods a frame, one comb frame, 2 frames of brood, and the bottom box, which is 7 to 8 frames of brood. And then any brood goes up in the next box. It's kind of like a Demery, but I'm just doing brood management between two brood deep boxes. So they have no more than ever 6 to 7 frames of brood in the bottom box. Anything extra goes up above. Hey Keith, so we've got 23. All right, so people are showing up. I guess they like that 8 o'clock time better. Yeah, that works, Dennis. Yeah, yeah. So I each had 12 frames in each one of mine because I put mine on top of two sixes. So that gave me 36 frames, but probably seven of them brood. So I probably had 20, like anywhere from 20 to 19 to 22 frames of brood going all the time. Yep, running singles teaches. Yep, I've run singles a lot till last year. Now I'm going to do one deep and one medium, just because it just gives me flexibility. At least this year, I'm going to be doing that. But yeah, all the queen needs is one deep 10 frame box. 8 frame, you're pushing it. Yeah, you can do that, DC. So, oh, my son's calling. Hold on a minute, guys. Hey, Sam, what do you need? I'm on a live chat. What kind of part? Mm, it might be. Well, you can come over and check. All right. No, I can check later on. Well, I can check tomorrow morning. All right. Sounds good. All right. Bye. All right. My youngest son's calling. He just bought a house. Well, his girlfriend just bought a house, and I think he's going to propose probably the next month or two. One of their he actually told us today he was over at the house that their first goal was to buy a house and then get married or propose and then get married. So they got the house now. They I think they move in May 5th. So he's got no excuses now. And she's super good. We really like her. She could be my daughter. So Marissa's her name, but she goes by Mo. They've been going out probably like 4 to 5 years now, 4 years I'd say. So she's been over the house a lot. So he's got he actually removed one of his big zero turn walk behind mowers out of the backyard today. It's been sitting back there for at least 12 years, and he's tearing the engine apart, going to get it all up and running again. He's really good working on from lawnmower engines up to big um, dump trucks, tearing those engines down, building them. All right, DC, I'm reading what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. I mean, I did it for a couple of years and then I stopped taking all those boxes back off, checking. So, a lot of times the middle queen would die sometimes, like on I don't know 10% of the time, and then you just have two queens, which still work pretty good. But then you'd have to go in there and put a virgin cell in there, tear everything down. Oh no, to me it wasn't worth it. I get more honey doing either the brood management or the demery. And the only difference between the brood management and the demery is demery you're actually doing a split, or in the brood management you're not doing a split. You're just making sure the queen always has two frames of brood, two comb frames to lay on, and there's no more than 6 or 7 brood frames down in the bottom box. There's 6 brood frames, so there's always 2 frames available. You do that about every 2 weeks. You go in there and check 10 days to 12 days. It's a similar principle. You want to build a Roman palace. Okay. You must have more time in your hands than I do. So, anybody got any questions on anything? So, if all goes right, I'll have a few more hives on my property than I'm supposed to have. But I think my neighbor's going to be moving. The one that's across the street, the pain in the butt one, that complains about everything. Evil woman. Her husband's all right. It's her. Hey, Eric. Here's a good question. Oops, I had picked the wrong one. I understand, DC. How do you store your comb? Well, I have a barn that's mouse tight. It's pretty much bug tight. I mean, spiders can get in. I've never seen a wax moth in there, or a small hive beetle. They might be a little bit too big. Um, but I go ahead and put my supers all inside um, my honey room, because I'm not grafting doing honey anymore. In the fall time after I pull the honey, um, I have room to store most of my mediums, and then I put the Parma moths balls in them. I just buy a couple bags and I throw a bag. I have them stacked up in a row and I just throw them in there. And a month later, I'll finish the bag up and throw them back up there again and let them fall down through it. And that's it. And I've never had any issues. If I ever build a lean, I'll just store them outside and always let the air get to them. And you can do that. You just crisscross the boxes so air can get through them, or you can stack them and then leave a few inches between them so air can go through them, and you won't have any issues with the comb either. But, it has to be a spot where they're not going to get soaking wet. So if I ever build my lean, which I don't know how that's going to ever happen, I'm always too busy with beekeeping in my business in the near future. And then if I pull out any honey from a dead out or stuff like that, I have a freezer and I'll put them in a freezer for 2 nights, and then I pull them back out. And any egg that's in there is dead. Some say 3 nights. I do 2 nights, but I've never had an issue. And then what else there is? So that's about it. Any of my supers that's never had brood in it, I don't even. I stack them. Just the ones that got brood in it, that had brood in it, are the ones I put the Parma um, mothballs in. Because they won't touch comb without any honeycomb, without any cocoon in it or pollen in it. They won't touch. And This year, since we had a whole month where it never got above freezing. Small hive beetles and wax moths won't be much of an issue this year. Knock on wood, but by the time they come, it's going to be late August. It's going to be August, September. And pretty much then we'll have a frost, so not a big deal. Keep your hives big. So I'm hoping those four hives that you see in my background get up to 80,000 bees, 70 to 100,000 basically. And I'll double this number of boxes on there. Yeah. So that's what I typically do. I store them in the barn right in the back, right in the behind my head, in the back section there. My grandfather, I don't know if you can hear him. My grandfather clock's now in my bedroom because, like I said, I got a bunch of, I got actually my son Sam, I just call his old bedroom. I got is my office, but now it's got a bunch of furniture in it from our family room in that area in the foyer. So I forgot about that. 8 o'clock. So just dang, 8 times. Could you guys hear my grandfather clock? I guess not, maybe. Yeah. Um, Drawn comb is gold. Nope. Okay, that's good. It's pretty loud. So it filtered it out. That's cool. I have still, I actually went in all I don't know how many supers I have, 50, 54. I went through all of them and pulled out the end, any medium frame that was not fully filled out, one side, a lot of them were one side because they're the end one. I went ahead and pulled all of them out and consolidated them all into nine medium supers. And I have three hives on my property, and I have four at another property that don't have bees in it. And when I catch swarms, they're going to go dumping in those hives, and I'm going to put one of those medium. I might even just do three medium supers and throw them in there so they get drawn out. At least do one medium super, put a queen excluder on it, and then put two of them on top of it and see if they can get those all built out. At least two out of three built out. So that's my game plan. All right. Well, I run on those hives. Every one of my hives, I run two deeps, except for wintertime. I run a deep and a medium super, and I try to get that medium deep and the medium super plugged out with honey or sugar water. Hi, Vincent. Good question. Oops. Do I do comb honey? I have now in my supers 6 or 7 frames to do comb honey. So this will be my first year. Um, if I have them in the right boxes. I don't even know what boxes, since I moved all my frames around, I don't even know what boxes they're in. I need to do a better job of that. Yeah, DC, you don't get 0, -10, -15 degrees. If I was in your weather too, I'd definitely be in singles. I overwintered a lot in singles, but I had to feed them twice. I had to put food on top of them on the food shims, 1.5 times to 2 times on some of them. What I noticed when I did overwintered in singles, my hives this time of year weren't as big as my hives that I overwinter with a deep, two deeps, or a deep and a medium. So I'm going across the board this year with a deep and a medium to overwinter, and I my hives come out of winter bigger, so I get more honey the following, the next year because I got just one or two more frames of bees. Makes a huge difference. You know, I just do it for honey production. If I didn't care too much about honey production, get my 50 to 80 pounds, I would run singles. But if I want to get 50 to 200 pounds out of my Demery hives, 200 pounds for sure. And doing brood management on the other ones at the other property, I'll get 150 pounds per hive. I'll double what I normally get if I just left them alone, or if I had them in single brood boxes the winter before. So if that makes sense, I've just kind of learned that over the years. Yeah, Vincent. Um, if if I was the only thing I don't like, the only thing I don't like about doing that is going to all mediums is if you need to find a queen, and if you're selling nukes like I am, that's one thing. You got to sell medium nukes, and that's not a good deal. And and to find a queen, and now you're looking in 2 to 3 boxes of frames. So doing still the brood with just the medium, most of the time she's going to be down in the big box, just occasionally up in the top box. So it just cuts your time down looking finding the queen to sell a nuke, and then the sell a nuke or do the Demery. Um, it just makes it a little bit easier. Don't have as many frames. Yeah, Nathan, checkerboarding. I used to checkerboard. I don't do checkerboard anymore. I want my, oh, there goes my son. He's checking now. Just saw my old car go by. He's got my old Volkswagen CC Sport, 2015 CC Sport. So it's 11 years old. Um, what was I saying? I forgot. Shoot. Oh, I used to checkerboard. Now I want to make sure all my honey hives have comb frames, 90 to 100%. So only my non-honey production hives will get the frames that aren't drone, and I'll use swarms for that. That's what swarms are good for. I'm past the checkerboarding stage. Did take me six years, I think. I couldn't work my hives today. It only got up to 50 degrees, and it was breezy today. Not near as much as yesterday, but we still had probably 15-mile-per-hour winds, 10 to 15, just to make it feel cold. Yeah, my son Sam, I was right. So he's trying to find his starter, pulley starter that he bought some years ago. Yeah, so that's a good idea. DC, that's what I do. I have 16 production hives. Right now, I only have 14 production hives because two hives, um, I never put, I never overwintered in them. I just put them, the stand could fit that many. Hey, Sam, I could fit 12 stands. So I moved two of them over last winter, and I was going to do a late split, and I decided not to. It was September, I said, I'm not even gonna mess with it. I'll just get them this spring. Yeah. Hey, Russell Koopman. Um, yeah, you're up north. You've been getting a lot more winter than we have. I've been getting a lot. I mean, we've gotten more spring weather this year than we've ever had. It seems like it. And we're having a little, I wouldn't call it winter. I mean, we got down to 42 nights ago, and we got down to 36 last night, or this morning, I should say. The morning before it was 40. And then tomorrow morning we're supposed to go down to 32. And then it's supposed to go up to 67. And the next day it's supposed to be almost 80. And the low is only 50. So there was no more 30s. Oh, there was a 40. Um, I think 2 weeks from now, 20th, I think it was the 20th of April, they got forecasted a 40. But it looks like 18. Yeah, you're still in winter time, springtime now. So I'm hoping to have 5 or 6 frames of comb honey this year, but I have to wait and see. I don't know if I put them in my Demery boxes or not. I don't think I just grabbed them. I'll find out. Oh, that's good, Clay. Getting progress done. Yeah, I'll be doing that on the 8th. I got 10 hives to go through, making 10 nukes, and then making 2 splits out of those 10 hives. Pull a nuke and make 2 splits. Oh, I guess he found it. He's leaving. I think it was on the shelf. He's got a little corner of the barn that's his until he moves into his house. Then his tool chest and his sump pump that he's got saved there for every house, it will be gone. No giant hives. Yeah, DC, you can still make giant hives. You can just get more honey. Yeah, Dennis, I don't make too many. I don't really make too many splits. I pull nukes. I pull one nuke out, and most of the time I'll replace them with a summer solstice queen from the year before. And I don't even have to do that because summer solstice queens the next following spring won't swarm. So that's all good. Yeah, broke. Well, I'm my wife's still working, but I'm not pulling it. The only income I'm pulling is selling honey and selling now 2 hives and selling nukes. Dennis, you have 27 hives now. Okay. That's more than me. I have 20 right now. So I consolidated a little bit because I had to move a whole bunch of hives and stuff like that to take care of my neighbor. Yeah. I live in my barn too, Eric. You know. So I'm hoping I got 11 swarm traps out. In fact, Thursday, hey, Carl. Yeah, I'll be back up to 30 in 2 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. Might not have all mated queens in them, but they'll have virgin queens in them. That is for sure. Russell, I checked my queen cells yesterday because today was too cold and it was 60 degrees, 59, 16. It was 30 to 30, 35 mile per hour wind. So I did it quick and I counted for sure 17 cells. I think I got 18. I'll be pulling them on Sunday, late Sunday afternoon. It's supposed to go up to 80 degrees. So that's perfect weather to pull them and put them in my incubator. That'll be day 13. I like to pull them on day 13 because you can drop one and you won't hurt it because you can ship them then you can ship cells at day 13. That's the magic number. So Sunday will be day 13 and Monday it's supposed to rain, so I'm going to pull them Sunday, put them in my incubator and let them emerge out on the 15th, maybe the 14th night, 15th. So as I mentioned earlier at the beginning, first time you graft early in the season, very earliest of the season that you can graft, the bees will only make 15 to 20 cells. My third generation mentor taught me that. He uses double deeps as his cell builders, and he's got cell finishers. And I told him, I said, it seems like every year I can't get more than 20 cells on that first graft. And he goes, that's all you ever get. He goes, even if you put it in my huge cell builder, it'll make 15 to 20 cells around here. Like I said, 2 weeks from now, if I can do 30 cells, they'll build. If I don't make a mistake, I'll get 30 queens. But the first one, it seemed like they need to practice one. So I think I got 18 cells. I think I miscounted. I think one of them had 3 cells in a row, and I only counted two. We saw 80 degree, 878. Yesterday we had 62 degrees, and today was 50. And tomorrow's 67 and upper 70s and 80. And then it's supposed to stay 70s and 80s. I think there's 169. So yeah, 70 to 70s to 80 degrees the next 2 weeks. A couple 69s in there are 70 degrees. So we should have a really good black locust as long as the rain doesn't kill us. And it doesn't seem like we've got the rain like we did last year. We're getting 3 or 4 or 5 sunny days, and then we get one a day and a half of rain, which is more normal. Sunday, it's supposed to be 80 degrees here. And 2 days from now, Thursday, it's supposed to be near 80 degrees. Yes, Thursday, Thursday, it's supposed to be 80, 79, 80. Friday, it's supposed to rain. Saturday, it's supposed to be 69, 70, and then Sunday back up to 80. So upper 70s, 80, 69, 80, and then like 77 the next day. I just watched the news this evening after clearing the house floor a little bit, I'm making room in the barn. I moved a whole bunch of stuff in the barn too. Making room so I can move the couches out to the barn. I can move the dining room table or the kitchen table out to the barn. All that good stuff. CLA 6, Carl and Clay. Yes, it's always good to chat. I wish somebody would hop on and join me. I don't think there's anybody here that typically joins. DC, you should join. Get them. get the West Coast and the that's cool, Kimberly. I got itchy nose, allergies. Tree pollen's up pretty high right now in the area. Yeah, I got called out last week on a swarm, but the bees, it was in a house. It's in the floor of the house. Um, it swarmed, but it came back. When I was there, it actually landed in a tree, and then it went about 8 feet above the hive up to the eave of the house. And it's two-story house, and the hive is between the first floor and the second floor. And then all the bees flew down, went back into the hive. So I'm sure it's going to swarm probably tomorrow. So the lady's got my business card. So I might be going on a swarm call tomorrow. So it was a swarm last year that went in their house, and they didn't know they had bees until the spring because they found some dead bees in their room. But I'm not doing the cutout. I gave her a couple. I called. I texted a good friend of mine that does cutouts, and he contacted her, and she got somebody else too. So I don't know who she's using. I'm pretty much done doing cutouts. I might do a tree, cut it, get one out of a tree. That's not too hard. And I've been using a chainsaw my whole life. My parents having a farm, and my brother having a farm. I don't know how many hundreds of trees I've cut down in my life, or cut up firewood, stuff like that, and down trees. My dad would pull them out with the tractor, and I'd cut them up when I was a kid. All that fun stuff. Yeah, I don't mind. I most of the time, well, I've been wearing a jacket a little bit more because I had a wedding to go to my niece. I didn't want to get stung too much. Um, a lot of times I get stung right up in here because they hit my glasses and they panic and sting me. And they hit, and I put a veil on just so I don't get stung right up on my eyebrows. I've been stung there once this year. I usually get three or four every year because I forget to put the veil on, and then I get stung, and then I put it on. Too late then. And the other day when I was working the bees, doing the demery and doing the grafting, I was just all shorts with my jacket on. I got one sting in my ankle, and that was it. No, they don't like glasses. Well, I think they bump you in the forehead to warn you, and then they hit the glass when they bounce back. That's it. That's history. Maybe they see a reflection. I don't know. You're right. They don't like glasses. I never had an issue when I first beekeeping. I didn't wear glasses, but once I started wearing glasses, that started happening. Hey, George Keith from Northwest Connecticut. You're probably still in winter then. Not doing a whole lot. Probably just starting to. Have any of your maple trees bloomed yet, George? Silver maple trees? I'm sure you got them up there in Connecticut. Hmm. So 31 watching. Pretty good tonight. Yeah, 22 degrees. I know the warm air hasn't quite made it that far north yet. I think it's made it just to the lakes, maybe across the middle of Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, stuff like that. I think Virginia's been warm, but I think north of that it's not been warm. So Maple is soon. All right. So That's the start of your season, which is good. Probably about right on schedule, maybe a little early. I don't know. No, probably a little late. Our maple trees, the earliest my silver maple trees ever bloomed is March 27th, and this year it was March 27th. So that's the earliest ever, and the latest ever is April 4th. So it always blooms within those seven, basically 7 days, 6, 7 days. So I've never recorded what that means though with freezes. Maybe I should document that. So this year, silver maple trees bloomed on the 27th of March, and tonight will be probably the 8th will be the last freeze. So maybe I'll start a spreadsheet on that and do it over 10 years and see how it's going. Human alert on my door. There must be deer out there in my yard. I got my blinds still open. I didn't see anybody walk by. That's weird. Somebody at our front door. I gotta check that one out. Well, I think a bird flew in right at the door. Okay. It's kind of dark. Must have been an owl. I can hear it cheeping. Okay. We got a lot of great horned owls just on. Actually, if I would buy that property, the nest is right on the fence line of that property. And the great horned owls had a nest there for at least 30 years. I think it was there when I bought the property in 92. Same tree every year, great horned owl nest. So there's tons of great horned owls around my neighborhood. I got a lot of them. I got a lot of red-tailed hawks. And I got a lot of red foxes in my neighborhood. I was told, yeah, you have different maples, DC. I thought all maple trees made syrup, but maybe not yours. You live in a whole different climate, that British Columbia gorge climate. Bald eagles, yeah, we got bald eagles too. I just see them mostly fly over my house. So that the Ohio River is only 3 miles away from me, and actually, there's a bald um, bald eagle's nest on Zion Road, which is no more than two and a half, no more than 3 miles away. It's at the beginning of Zion. I don't even know where it is on Zion Hill. I drove it the other day, but I didn't look for it. If it's up closer to me, that's only a mile and a half away. Actually, Crow's Mile, it's not even a mile, 3/4 of a mile away. So yeah, so there is a eagle's nest within, I would say, within 2 miles of my house. It's down by the Great Miami River and the Ohio River. You guys can ever look that up on the Google Maps. That's just a couple miles away from my house. In fact, I got bees just on the other side just west of the Great Miami River. So I either have to cross US 50 or I got to cross Harrison Avenue in Miami town. And it's in between the two bridges. Yeah, they are big birds. Russell as turkeys, flying as buzzards, turkey buzzards. Yeah, there's a bunch of them around here too. Oh, it's pretty good. So yeah, so I was going to do demo ray on those other hives on the other property, but I decided not to. Demo ray is a lot of work. 4 of them's enough. fact, Wednesday, tomorrow, I'll be going in all four of them, cutting out cells. How are your cells going, Dennis? My nuke cells, I've done less advertisement this year. In fact, I've done one on Facebook. That's it. And I've sold more than I've ever sold. And I've sold two complete hives and two nukes to one lady that's going to start beekeeping. She was in my bee class Saturday, and she'll be in the class next Saturday. And I got people buying 1 to 3 nukes from me. In fact, I got one tonight. The guy asked me if I had any more nukes left. I Any thoughts, Carl? I have 5 yards right now, so no, I'm not. One thing I would do is expand more bees on 1 yard. They only want 4 hives, so I'm keeping just. It's a company. I'm only keeping 4 hives there for now. The other yard, I can put 5 hives on the stand. I could put 10 there. I could expand to make maybe 10 on that spot. Um, no more on my property. And the other property's got 12 hives. That's maximum right now, too. So I'm gracious, he lets me put 12 hives on his property. He turned down, yeah, I'm at about 16 nukes right now on this 10 overwintered nukes and 5 or 6 um, on my first new nukes that'll be ready about March 2nd. They should be 2 weeks will be March 2nd, so I should know if they're mated or not. And I'm going to be running 5 extra queens. And that's one reason I bought those frames from Michael, 21st B. I made 4 queen nukes out of them. So I'll be shaking in some nurse bees into those 2 boxes and putting cells in those also. That's just for queen only because they're half frames, and I made one a half frame one so I got 5 of those. So each one of those will go and get a virgin queen. We'll shake bees into them. Each one will get one frame shaken into them, maybe two. Depends on how good the shake is. Shake, shake, and shake. So I don't want too many more hives. Most I want to get up to is 20 production hives, and I don't want them on 3 different properties. I'd like to keep them on 2. So when ever buy, I have 2 well, like I said, my neighbor across the street, um, her mom passed away about 6 months ago, and she had a cottage house in Virginia, right on the Atlantic coast, on the coast. And they've been going there every weekend fixing it up. So it would be nice if they moved there, and I could buy their property. They're 5 acres. I could get my estate lawyer and take 3 acres or 4 acres of that property. I'd probably just leave 1 acre because it's all hill, straight down the hill on the other side of me to down to a creek, and then back up the hill. Then I'd give myself probably about a 20 yard off my property to that property, and then resell the house, buy it, redo the property lines, and then um, then sell the house, and that would give me my 5 acres plus. So that might be an option in a year. So once that happens, I'll probably get up to 20 hives on my property, and then I'll have 12 hives on the other properties. So I have 32 Well, on my stand, I'm not going to have 16. I think I have 12. So that'll get me up to 24 production hives, honey hives. And I'll still have my six hives and my horizontal hives that are right over there. What that one holds four, and that one holds three hives. And then I got three hives down at the bottom of the hill that nobody knows about, except for you guys. So I would think in a year from now or 2 years from now, I'll have 12 hives on my stand that you see in my background, and I'll have 12 hives on the other property. And then the other two, I'll leave at 5 and 4. And then the one down in Indiana, that's a brand new property I just got this year. It doesn't have bees on it yet. I got the stand built and I got 4 swarm traps on the stand. See if I can catch any swarms. Um, I already bought hives for them. I probably need to wax dip them too. I didn't wax them yet. So those are just going to be, well, the ones in Indiana. I'll run just a deep and a medium, and then every spring I'll put 2 supers on them or three, probably a deep and 2 supers on them above the queen excluder, and let them go. And then in July, I'll take everything from the queen excluder up back here, the process, and put a 2 gallon bucket on them and let them go. The farm is next to my brother's farm, and he's got, out of his 101 acres, he's probably got 40 acres that he mows down every February, and then he lets it grow up. And it is nothing but goldenrod, esters, um, the plants that put out all the burrs, ragweed. No, not so much ragweed. It's a lot of goldenrod. So I would think there's enough food that um, they can fill their boxes back up for winter time. At least I'm going to try that. I'll feed them 2 gallons of sugar water and hope that's all I need to feed them. I might even pull them the middle of June, not this year, but next year, just so they get 2 more weeks of flow. Yeah. Clay, you're trying to expand to 50. Okay. Yeah, that's how I am. I want to have, like I said, 24, well, not 50. I want to have 30 to, well, I'll have 40 hives, then 6 or 7 production hives. So if I get everything done, I'll have 12 in my place, 12 in the other place. That's 24. Then I'll have 2 farms of 4. That's another 8. That's 32 plus another 5. That'll be 37. So I'll be up to 37 hives that are basically honey hives. Then I'll have 6 resource hives in my horizontal hives. And then I got my 12 6/6 hives that are overwinter. Those are resource hives too. And some are Saltus Queen hives. So plus I got the horizontal hive that I bought from Ricky. That's got 6 5 frames in it. So I'll probably overwinter one or two, one on each end. Give them about 10 frames in one of those. So that's what I say, 32 or 37. That'll give me another six more hives, 7 more hives. So I'm looking at 42 plus 12. So yeah, 57 hives plus maybe a couple nukes. So I'll be close to 60. Yeah, 37 10 framers, four 24 framers, three 32 framers, and 12 framers, and then a couple, two in the horizontal hive. If I can overwinter them. I got it. I fixed the leak on it. I basically rebuilt put a whole nother, I put a skid all the way around the lid so it doesn't leak now. First time in all these years, 4 years. I'll, yeah, I think I did a little short on it. I'm not sure if I did or not. Had to look at my YouTube. Clay, it's warm by you. We're probably 42 degrees. No, we're probably 40. Let me check real quick. I can check on. I'll check on my phone. It is 43 degrees right now. So we usually lose 8 to 10 degrees at night from about 9 o'clock. So we should be right around freezing. Yeah. 70 hives is more than a hobby. And when I get all my hives filled up in a year or two, it'll be, yeah, I don't know if I want 37 honey hives. That's a lot of honey, especially if I demo read my property. Yeah, because I turned 65 in June, so I'm not a pup anymore. I'm not look young like Clay. Just kidding. Clay's not young either. Young. He's a youngster though. So yeah, Keith, I think I'm not going to expand any. I'm just going to have what I got. I'm done. I don't like doing splits anymore. Yeah, I think every beekeeper is a common denominator. Then you get all your girls, some boys, most of the girls. Yeah, actually, one of the things I'm doing right now is making sure every box has a drone frame in it. I don't think the four I got right now in my yard that I got Demery has a drone frame in it. So I'll be checking that when I go into them tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's the 8th already. So I'll be putting a drone frame in the bottom box with the queen. So I'll probably be pulling two frames, one brood frame and one something else frame that's down in there, food frame, and moving it up to the top. Well, that's cool, Brian. And hi, Brian. Yeah, I've had walking drones now for 2 weeks. That's why I knew. Well, I know always know I can graft the first week of April. So last year was the first. This year was the second. Year before that, it was the 28th of March. So yeah. So I think most of my hives have that, Brian. I just need to double check. And I don't think my hives on my property have them. I don't know. I don't remember seeing them when I was going through them. I don't think I moved them up to the top because I'll leave those in the bottom box so that I don't have to worry about too many drones stuck up in the top box. I do have cracks on three of the four. The one I grafted from um, last Thursday, Um, I'm going to crack that this time because there was probably 6 to 10 drone cells, maybe more than there was more than that. It wasn't a drone frame; it was just cells at the bottom of the frame. Probably a dozen of them. They need to get out. They probably emerged now, but they don't fly right away. So I'm going to crack the top box on those too. I just put a little piece of stick or whatever I can find to shim them a 1/4 inch. Hey, Mark in Ravenshire. Hope everybody's good. 41. There must be no Bob today. So we're talking about drones. Drones existed before other drones existed. Brian, yeah. So that's one of my goals when I go through the hives next. When I pull the nukes, oh, I'm pulling nukes tomorrow too. Yeah, gosh. Yeah, I'm busy tomorrow. I got my 4 hives to go through Demery. Then I got to go through the 10 hives over on the other property to pull those nukes because the 15th is the following week. Man, good thing I'm having this live chat so I can remember all this. Rick, you should be seeing drones, but maybe soon. Yeah, same thing, Brian. We're supposed to go down to 32 tonight, and then I think there's 140 um 2 weeks from now I saw, and that's it. I think that's our last maybe freeze, last frost. My Ravenshire, mine are probably flying. I've been kind of busy. Um, my mother-in-law, we're actually putting her in hospice in the next day or two. So I've been spending a lot. My wife's the oldest, and she's the only daughter. So I've been spending a lot of time with my mother-in-law. And actually tomorrow, oh yeah, tomorrow I'm going over there too. To, clear out her room at the nursing home. She'll be going into a different room. Yeah, we couldn't even wake her up today. She slept the whole day, and I wasn't there, but her siblings, they, my wife, and younger brothers, and they couldn't even wake her up. And when they went to feed her, they couldn't wake her up. So it could even be tonight. She might just not wake up. So it's get to that stage. So she's been in an intensive dementia area with a room on the second floor, and then she has a room down here when she came back from surgery. So we have 2 rooms at the nursing home right now, and we got to clear out one of them for sure. We got to clear it out by the 15th too, because that's the due. Or we have to pay another month. So tomorrow is we're clearing it all out tomorrow. So I'll be dead beat. I got to go through 14 hives, and it's going down to 32. It won't be 55 until 11 o'clock, almost lunchtime. So I got to do this all post lunchtime, 14 hives, and then go to the nursing home. It's called Bailey's place, and then move furniture. Not a whole lot, so it's not too bad. Get that stuff. Yeah, and then my oldest son wants an end table, and that's about it. Nobody else wants anything. Um, that's a really good question, Russell. That is a great question. I think so, Russell. Um, I know when I used to have my 16 hives in a row, now I only got four. One of those hives every winter would house a huge number of drones. Um, 30% of the bees in the hive drones. And it was from the best hive would have a lot of homes, drones in it overwintered. And I believe the bees do that for late fall queens and very early queens. So I think I've only read one. I think Bob Beatty, one of the scientists talked about that. Hey, honey, be live. Um, talked about hives overwintering drones. So if the bees are doing it, I would say yes, they're viable. Would be my observation on that question. Well, the bees wouldn't do it if they weren't viable. They wouldn't do it. Is my thinking. I think so. The bees wouldn't keep them in their hive if they weren't. And it's not the same hive that does it every year. It bounces around, but it's usually one of my best hives going into winter. That could be it, Rick. That could be the bruisers. I do think they're the youngest ones of the year before. So the late drones that come out probably in August, um, although I think the ones they overwinter. So I'm thinking they are. Yeah, it's supposed to be 80 here. Actually, Thursday is supposed to be 80, and Sunday it's supposed to be 80 in the 80s. Brian. So and actually, I can work. I just did see in the news. It's supposed to rain Thursday, but not to Thursday late afternoon, mid to late afternoon. So I can actually do some of the work pulling those nukes on Thursday. Because on Tuesday, the following week, is when I'll be going in there destroying any queen cells. So those hives are hopelessly queenless. So I can put virgins in there and not have any issues. Yeah, Brian, that's a happy times, isn't it? And do the happy dance. No more freezes. And it doesn't look like we're going to get a late freeze. I planted my potatoes a couple days ago, knowing it was going to get cold, but they're in the ground. They're covered up. A few inches of straw and dirt. So I didn't, and I'll be actually next week, I'll be doing my lettuce, onions. I'll probably do my carrots, lettuce, onions, carrots, radishes. I'll be planting all them in the following week, maybe Sunday. It's supposed to rain Monday, I think Monday, and then maybe Tuesday, sometime end of next week, sometime end of next week, because I'll be busy up to the 15th, Wednesday. And then Saturday will be nuke pickup day for my overwintered nukes. So I'll pull them tomorrow or Thursday, and then pick up the following Saturday, a week and a half. That way I can put two frames of brood in, a comb frame, pollen frame, and a honey frame, and then shake in some bees. And those broods will be coming out, and then she'll be laying up a frame. So that way, my customers will have new bees emerging, and then bees re-emerging, 2 weeks later, a week later, so I don't miss the cycle too much. It's usually what I like doing. So I pull the nuke and then don't sell for 10 days later. Pull it on Wednesday and sell it the a Saturday after that. Yeah, so 21 days. So if she's laying 3 or 4 days, she can lay up a frame. She can lay up a frame in 4 days. So she can lay up in a week and a half. She's going to have two frames laid up. So I might only put one food if I can find a good pollen/honey frame. Pollen on one side, honey on the other side. That'll be perfect. And then I could put two comb frames in there, and there'll be two frames of new brood, some capped and some brand new, plus some old frame that's emerged out to keep her so they don't swarm on me. So I might get away with that. A full cap frame. And then actually if I could find a frame that has just a little bit of brood in it and then all the goodies around it, that'd be ideal. She can lay in that. They can move that honey out and lay in that, or they'll eat it up. So I'm hoping to do something like that when I pull these nukes. Two frames of brood and then a comb frame or two comb frames and a food frame, since I had the comb frames available. If not, they'll get 3 frames of brood and then a frame for them to build out during those 8 to 9, 10 days. No, busy, busy, busy. Yeah, so the 18th would be nuke pickup day for my overwintered nukes. Well, DC, I hope you're lucky with those nukes traps. My 11 traps were all totes, 18-gallon totes. I got rid of all my wooden ones and all my styrofoam ones. So they hold 8 to 9 frames, and they got 6 inches underneath them space. That'll catch the two double deep swarms or 12, 14 frame swarms. I have a Russian scan set up. I set that up just the other day. But since I'm doing a demery on my 4 hives, um, I shouldn't, those won't swarm on me. Shouldn't swarm on me since I'm doing a vertical split on them. My big hive and my horizontal hive over my shoulder, I actually checked that yesterday, and it's a queen. It's a new queen from a queen cell I cut out from my VHS queen that swarmed on May 17th. So it probably it's a summer solstice queen or real close to it. She might have had one time she got mated. It would have been it would have been the first week of June. She would have gotten she would have flown probably the first week of June or second week to the second week of June. And our last linden trees bloomed right around the 20th, right around on the summer solstice. So she at most only got 1 week of flow. So that hive right now is out of those 32 frames, they got all but, I would say, I think they got 22 to 23 frames that they got built out now from last year to this year because I had no foundation in them when I made that. Well, when I made the split, there was a couple frames. That was it. I knew there was no queen cells. There was a lot of drones. That I was cranking out the drones, but there was no swarm cells. I was kind of surprised. So I don't. That would be the only hive that would possibly swarm. I'll check them in a week from now for swarm cells. That's the one I'm doing a bunch of splits with them. So it had 6 frames of brood on top, and the queen was down at the bottom. So I think it has about 10 frames of brood. So I should be able to make 4 to 5 splits from it. I'm going to split it way down, way down. Hey, ripple effect. So there goes 9 o'clock. Bell's going off. So my 2 horizontal hives, those 7 hives, I'll have all splits in them next week with virgin queens in them. So that's 6 of them I need there. I need 16 queens, and I got 18. I got 2 extra. I need 3, but I got 12 cells in my incubator right now that I cut out. So I'll have queens. In fact, I'll probably do this first 5, and the first 5 queens will go in my ones I can just shake with frame of bee in them. That way I don't lose any brood. Just shake nurse bees and close it up, and then 3 days later put the queen in. Let them get used to, or put the queen in and keep them closed up. Put her in a cage so they have to eat her, get her out in a day or two. And then I open up in 3 days. She'll be ready to fly in 2 days. And then they should stay because they had a queen in there for a day or two. And 5 frames, that's 2.5 frames, so that should be pretty good. They should not have the issue. Those little styrofoam ones, that's a big issue. If you got big traps, Ripper Effect, that guy that did that experiment, I talk about that in my class. If you read that full experiment he did, he went to an island and he knew there'd be no other bees and any beekeepers. That island only had one species of trees in it, and they weren't big trees. So of course, all the bees went that high, at least 12, 14 feet, and they're over 40-liter size because that's how big the trees were. It's a false scientific experiment. So all those people that build traps at 40 liters are only getting baby swarms. I run 68-liter boxes, and that's just barely big enough. That's big enough for even big swarms, but they'll fill it up. I've gotten swarms 12, 14. I've gotten 2. Actually, I got a swarm last year that filled up 2 deep boxes and 2 easy nukes on a swarm. That came from Mike Nutter, his Demery hive. He somehow um, got a virgin queen or something, and it swarmed. I saw it fly over. I was out there. I caught it on film, and it had virgins. It had at least 3 virgins in them. So my 2 easy nukes had virgins in them. One flew away on me and took some of the bees. So I know it had at least 3 virgins. No ripple effect. Those swarms, when these hives, well, this time of year, I mean, my 4 Demery hives right now are up to probably 40,000 bees. They're getting close to 50,000 bees in them. They're packed. They're getting pretty big. 3 of the 4 are. Um, and so if one of those swarm, you're still getting 25 to 30,000 bees. 30,000 bees swarming. 3 packages, 2 nukes, 3 nukes swarming. They're big swarms. And sometimes swarms were combined kind of too. If they're coming from the same yard and they're about all ready to swarm at the same time. So my one neighbor runs 7 Demarray hives every year, and he loses one or two of them every year to swarms because he waits too long to set them up. He hasn't set them up yet. Mine's been set up for 2 weeks now, a week and a half. Not 2 weeks almost. It's the 8th or 7th already. So yeah, 11 days. Oh, that's a lot of work, Brian. I'm just doing my 4 this year. Hey, blocked family of Perry. That's my at least that's my game plan for. I already got 4 of them done. In fact, tomorrow I have to go into them because it's been 7 days on 3 of them, and it'll be 8 days on 3 of them. There's 7 days on 3 of them and 6 days on the other one. Get them all on the same day cycle. Every Wednesday will be Demery Day. Yeah, Brian, I try to find the queen and I'll cage her. If I can't cage her, I'll close them up for 2 or 3 days and let them unless I know it's a virgin swarm, then I won't do that. I'll even cage up a virgin queen and then put half the sugar plug so I can eat that out in one day or a day and a half versus 2 days to 3 days. So she can get on her mating flight one day, just to try to help that. And if I'm driving them more than 3 miles, they won't fly out either. If they're within 3 miles, then they'll fly. They might fly out. So I catch them from my brother's farm. I don't have to worry about it. If I catch them from my ones down in by the river, they're right at 3 miles, so that's borderline. If I catch them on my other one, that's 5 miles away, so I don't have to worry about them. If I catch them, any of my 10 hives on my new property, that's only a mile and a half away. Those will leave and go back or go, where they were planning on going. So those I'll definitely, if any of those swarm, I'll definitely have to lock them up. In fact, I don't even know what trees they're going to swarm into since that's a new property that I set up last fall. I started moving my hives. Well, Brian, don't let them swarm. I've had 2 hives swarm on me last year. The year before that, I had 1 hive swarm on me. And those 2 hives were the VHS queens that I got from Corey Stevens Nukes. And I didn't think they would swarm, especially since I had space on them. And 2 of the 4 did because they were September. Well, they were Florida open made it in Florida in January. So between January and May, 5 months, 3 months in Florida, a month and a half at my place. 2 of the 4 swarmed. My 2 biggest ones, 2 best hives swarmed. Which kind of surprised me. One was the 7th of May, and the other one I think was the 14th or the 17th of May. Both of them were in May. So that's why I didn't have to graft last year because I cut swarm cells when they swarmed. I caught both swarms, and neither one of them got away. Hey, Norman. Um, I forget how many cells I cut. 25 cells, something like that. 30 cells. It was a lot. So I didn't have to graft. So it kind of worked out. It was a win-win. Swarm cells, we're grafting. And I think I only had two dead, two of them that didn't come out because they got shaken. They fell down when I was putting them in the incubator. So that's how I got all those hives over in the other, those 12 hives over there were all VHS queens. So I bet those shouldn't swarm because those are all got mated, the first and second week of first, second week of June. And the flow ended the third week of June, 21st. So I only have one hive that could possibly swarm, and that's the in my um, monster horizontal hive. And like I said, as of yesterday, it doesn't have any queen cells. One thing this year, the first week of May, first week of February, I think it was February 4th, um, they all got most of them got a pound of that global patty, one of those strips. Some of them only got a half or three quarters. No, they all got one mostly. Some got two actually, and that really boosted up my hives this year. I've had my best hives ever. So when those first trees start blooming at the end of March, those hives already had 3 to 4 frames of brood in them. So right now, all my hives got like 10 frames of brood in them. So tomorrow, I'll be moving 2 frames of brood from the bottom up to the top box on my demery, and moving mostly honey frames from the top box down to the bottom box. So they then move that honey up into the medium super above them. So that's one thing. They can move honey, they can't move pollen. So when I do my frame brood management, when I put that comb frame in between brood frames, um, a lot of time it's my outside honey frames when I'll move in there. So then they got to take that honey and move it up above them, so you get more honey production. So I already got deeps, got wet honey in them. So I think my first pool's going to be at the end of the month, the 1st of May. I probably have two or three pools this year. My first pool is the end of April. I'll do it at the end of May, and then I'll do basically the end of June, 4th of July. So I'll probably get 3 honey pools, at least out of my 4 hives, and I'll get one or two out of my other 10 on the other property. So I've been doing a little bit of what Keith is doing. There you go, Eric. Well, I did 10 hives. I wax boiled 10 hives last week, and I got 4 more to do. It seems like um, when I brought up the question if they wanted to paint them or wax dipped, everybody said wax dip. So wax boiled. Nobody wanted to buy a one that's not been painted yet, just a box, unprotected box. So I'm going probably in a week. I'm going to fire up the I have to buy a block of wax first. Maybe I have to do that after this live chat. Order some a 30 10 pound 30 pounds of wax. 20, yeah, I have just enough that I can do 1.5. I want to get another about 10 or 15, 20 pounds more in there. So I'll probably buy 30 more pounds. So I have a leftover for next year. Yeah, wax is cool nowadays, Norman. You're right. So I should have done, well, I was running out of wax. So I bought 6 pounds already and stuck it in there. Because I thought I was going to wax boil 2 days after that, but I didn't. I had to go to the nursing home. So working out the nursing home and my working on my website, working on my bees, working on my demery. Um, I'm glad I'm retired because I could never do all this working. Wow, that's pretty cool, Brian. Your grandson, 34 weeks. Growing fast. They do grow fast at the beginning. Yeah, yeah. I use a 55-gallon barrel, steel barrel. I bought it for $10 that had food in them, liquid soup, I think it was. So it was I didn't have to worry about any chemicals or nothing. And I had to drive to the other side of town. That was, half an hour drive to pick it up. That does 1.5 deeps. So, hey, you never have to be sorry you're here. So, yeah, 1.5 deeps, or I can do, and I usually can do a bottom board or a lid while I'm doing the deeps. So I can do like a medium super and two lids, two bottom boards and those. And I just use I put one box in, I submerge it, and then I put a second box on top of it, and I do half of it. Then the next round, I put another new box on the bottom. I flip the other box around, and I do 3 boxes for every 2 dips, 2 boils, if that makes sense. So it took me basically the whole day for me to do 10 hives. And 10 hives consisted of 2 deeps, a medium, a lid, and a bottom board. So the four will just take me half a day, 4 hives. That'll be easy. I just got to buy some liquid crystalline. So whenever that gets in, I'll order it tonight after this. I think at 9:30 I'm going to knock it off. So Keith's probably about ready to make his first pull. Is that true, Keith? You ready to pull, honey? Probably pretty soon, in a week. Be my guess. I don't think I've seen any videos of you yet pulling. You've had really good weather down where you're at. I think I'll be pulling at the end of the month. 3 more weeks, I should have cap um, medium supers. Or between the two that I got on them, I'll have one full capped. And I'll extract those four and then the other ones from my other 10 hives on the other property. They all got at least one box on them, and I got two of them. Two of them got 2 boxes on them, and I got 8 boxes already pulled out, all with comb. That I'll be putting them on the 8th when I go there to pull the nuke. So I'm gonna pull the nuke and then add another super on top of them. Because I'll only be taking if you take only 30 up to 33% of the brood, you will not hurt those bees one bit. That's the golden rule. 30 up to 33%. So one taking one nuke out is not 33%. I'll be taking two out of eight, two brood frames out of eight, and two of them I'll be taking 3 brood frames out of eight. My split will probably only be two brood frames in the food frame, maybe three brood frames if I got one hive that's in three deeps right now, and it's in three deeps. It's three deeps full. That's the one I added 12 frames um, that I did the cutout in middle of February. That box has got three deeps full. In fact, luckily it has a summer solstice queen in it. That's why I picked that hive. And when I put them in the middle of March, it was like six frames of bees. So going into the spring, it was already two full deeps. Now it's three full deeps. So I don't know how many frames of brood are in that baby. I'm thinking it's got 8 to 10 frames of brood. So I can take probably 4 frames of brood out of that baby and not hurt it one bit. I mean, that many bees it has. So Keith, I don't know if I'd be posted or not. Yeah, I'm missing some of. There's too many coming in. I'm not. I haven't fed my bees. Well, I've only external fed. I did my 5 gallon bucket once, upside down bucket with holes, in the side, and I put out my cutout. I crushed all the comb up, the honeycomb into the uncapping tank, and then I had that sitting out for a week for them to clean that uncapping tank up. So I did feed them early. I did them with sugar water, and then this last round I did them with honey. Actually, I did get a bucket of honey off of it. So I was through the uncapping. I got filled up 5 gallon bucket, 60 pounds. I filled it up to like that high from the top, so it was definitely 60 pounds of honey, and let them finish the rest of it. And I probably could have got another inch out of it, but I figured one bucket was enough. And now I'm wax melting all of it in my solar wax melter. I got I got enough to keep me busy this whole year of comb to melt down. That hive was big in the middle of February. 12 frames of bees I sucked up, and 6 feet, 16 inches wide, 16 inches deep comb. A lot of comb I got. All right. So I forgot about that hive. That hive's huge. So I probably will make the split just from that hive. I only got to pull, yeah, I'll pull a nuke from it and then make a split from it, and it'll still have 6 frames of brood probably in it, and still lots of bees. That way I won't hurt my other hives at all. Hmm, I might have a plan. Good one, Norman. Yeah. Well, Keith works hard to keeping that demery going on all his hives. So that's why he gets all that honey. Brian, you'll get a lot more honey if you're still on here. If you're going to do your hives, I'll get more. I'm hoping to get 200 pounds. I mean, I get 80 typically. I should double it. Everybody says you'll double to triple it. So I should get 200 pounds from mine. Well, if I get my typical 80, and my hives are big enough this year, I'd get my typical 80. So I'm thinking I'll get close to 200. So I should get 800, close to 800 pounds out of this 4 hives, and I should get my 70, 60 to 80 pounds from my other 10 hives. So that should get me up to close to 2,000 pounds of honey this year. And if we don't get any more freezes, I think that's going to be viable. I've had my best dandelion crop this year, but I mowed it the other day. Just yesterday, I mowed it. First time I cut my grass. They'll come back. I didn't cut my top field though, so there's still a lot of dandelions up there. I'm not cutting it this year. I got clover. I got white, red, and yellow clover planted in it. I got 5 prairie um, willow bush trees planted in it. I got 10 comfrey plants planted in it. I got 15 elderberry plants in it and a couple of American hollies in it, plus all the oak trees. George, I'm in Southwest Ohio, south west side of Cincinnati. So I get winter and I get summer and I get storms in the in between. So it can be 80 degrees and it can be 30 degrees the next day. Depends if the north winds or the south winds. And we're getting late enough in the season now, it's almost all south. A little bit like tomorrow morning, we'll get a little bit of north last couple days. Oh, I've had dandelions for 2 weeks, 3 weeks now, Brian, but really a whole lot this week, big time. My south facing hill got dandelions almost 3 weeks ago. It was no, it's been 2 weeks because it was end of it was March, about the same time the maple trees were coming out. Well, it was only on my south facing hill. I had a few dandelions, but now I got them everywhere. Yeah, Keith, I asked you if you pulled honey yet, or if you'll be pulling it soon. I don't think I saw it. Yeah, I probably have hundred. I have hundreds in my yard. In fact, my wife comments, "You never seen so many." Weed killer. That's not allowed on my property. I am going to spray a little bit in my backyard though, where the swimming pool is. I got well, I can't find crabgrass killer without weed killer in it, and I got a bad patch of crabgrass killer, so I am going to spray for that. It's going to be a spot spray, just where the crabgrass it was from last year. But my backyard, that's a good chunk of it. Ripple effect, that's the question. I don't know if he pulled honey yet, but I think he's getting close. Week of the 20th, maybe. Yeah, okay. So you're getting close. Week and a half. Okay. 421. So you're gonna be pretty much on schedule then. Week of the 20th, maybe a few days after. And this is down south, yeah. Well, I already had a hive. The hive on my other on property number two, where I got five hives. It already had four. I had videotaped. It already had like five frames of pollen in it. In fact, I put all the brood down the bottom, took all the pollen except for one, left one down there, and put them up in the top box like a super box, hoping they go up there and pull some of that pollen down and use it up. Actually, it's been a week since I've done that. I have to go back probably another week and check. And if they didn't, if there's still a bunch in that top box, I'm just going to pull them out and use them in my nukes that I make. Be a good pollen frame. You're 100%, Keith. Well, it's not until you pull it, at least, and going in the bucket. Yeah, you never know. Weather can do strange things. We have to knock on wood. We haven't had any severe storms yet. We've had warnings out, but no tornadoes, just watches. If we can get through another 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, we're through the worst part of it. More sugar tonight. Yeah, I gotta buy a 25 pounds of sugar for all these nukes so I can feed them, get them started. All right, Brian, have a good night and take care of that puppy, that's for sure. Actually, I was going to wrap up at 9:30 anyway. That's 2 hours. So you're right. You're right on time, Brian. So I think I'm going to call it a night unless somebody's got a specific question. 2 hours is long enough, especially since nobody hopped on. Brian didn't hop on. He could have. All right. Good night, everybody. I think we're good. I'll see everybody next Tuesday, 7:30. Same bat channel, same bat time. That shows my age. That's for darn sure. All right. Night, everybody. Have a great week. Well, you're welcome, Eric. Night.